Commandments. You see what I'm saying? Crush that stone. It's an alchemical story. You see what I'm saying? Alchemical story. You see. They crushed the 10 Commandments because they was worshiping the heavenly cow. The cow is the great mother, Het Heru, Hathor, cow-headed deity.
That's right.
Which is the golden calf.
Right. That's right. Okay.
Which, in so many words, that's going to be the final aspect to get back in the bosom of the golden calf. Well, where's the golden calf? The golden calf rose up in October this year, known as the golden one, Lakshmi. That's the Het Heru Lakshmi. You see. The Egyptian terminology is very ancient. They're so old until they're more of generic terms. They never stopped worshiping the Het Heru in India as the sacred cow in India.
Right.
They don't eat no cow. As well as Lakshmi, which is the golden one, the golden calf. And so as a result, Lakshmi is back on the scene. It's the same thing. Venus, the great mother. Venus and Isis is the same because Isis intervenes in the golden ass story. She's the savior. Get the book Isis Mystery by M. Isadora Foster. But you got the golden calf and you got all of this stuff. It's an alchemical aspect that is going on here with the 10 Commandments, which is the Akashic records, which Akasha means black, melanin, the black substance. You see. You know, the black substance. So all that stuff is a alchemical drama going on. Right.
I just motherfuckers walking around the desert.
Yeah, the desert, sand, melanin. Osiris lives in the desert called Seker. Osiris Seker, or Sor, the desert of Set, the desert of Osiris. The jewels in the desert, the stones, the sand, the grain, the desert, the grain of sand, the salt, the bees, the ants, the jewels. It's all talking about melanin.
Have to do with the platinum physical particles in the brain.
All of that stuff. Every stone, every alloy, every metal is inside of our human body, but it's separated. It comes back up as a philosopher's stone. The pineal gland synthesizes it into the stone that the builders would reject, will become the cornerstone. But those particles are all throughout the central nervous system, has to come back up into the perfected stone. It's called a purifying mysteries in Gnosticism. Or even in the Bible, they might talk about the purifying mysteries. The distillation into a smooth gem, jewel stone, lapis lazuli in the book of Revelation. Get Carl Jung's book Aeon. And they talk about the lapis Christ parallel. And look at the lapis Christ parallel and the symbol that he draws for the lapis lazuli is the same as the matrix, is the melanin molecule that melanin is. All this shit is talking about alchemical aspect of things. You see what I'm saying?
All right, so the last thing on the Moses...
I didn't study this shit. It just came.
Okay.
Don't leave.
Okay.
Because speaking of lapis lazuli, was not that the treasured stone of the mother of Akhenaten, Queen Sai, who had a crown, if I'm not mistaken, made of lapis lazuli, and the color of that being, I guess that purple, the same color that represents the pineal, which is that.
It's a blue thing. Newt says in the book of the law, because lapis lazuli is also in the book of the law. Newt says in the book of the law, I am black to the blind, but for those who can see, I am blue.
Okay. And this would also be blue.
Yeah.
Luke, right? Luke means a kind of bluish. It can mean white, but it could also mean blue.
What? Yeah.
When you were speaking about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Luke, yeah, and, right. So all of this stuff is alchemical. So you see in the book of the law, in book of Revelation, book of law, you see lapis lazuli. You see the book of Revelation, you see lapis lazuli. In ancient India, lapis lazuli is a real precious stone. But that's also, it's called the lapis Christ parallel. That's in the book Aeon by Carl Jung. You see what I'm saying? This motherfucking tape is some real deal shit.
All right. So the last
a nigga know, a nigga just know. Say how you know what's that nigga from Green Mile?
John Coffey.
John Coffey.
Uh-huh.
I just know, motherfucker. That's how I be knowing.
That's right.
I ain't got no weapon.
I sure like that cornbread.
Yep.
Them zinges.
You gonna do
Right.
I know. Look at them dance, Bo. All right, so the last thing I have, at least on Moses, is this manna shit. What the fuck is this manna shit?
Mushroom.
Manna.
Manna.
Mana.
Mana.
Manna. Okay.
Uh-huh.
There's several aspects. There's a book out called Mana. The dew, let the dew of lights be thy dew. Mana is the sacred mushroom. You see the brother Kalinda's tape and it shows the sacred mushroom and the spot the mushroom. But mana is also what Israel ate from while they were in the wilderness.
Right.
In stories in ancient ancient India, they talk about people who were breatharians or breatharians. Now, one of the sisters in Atlanta that I was affiliated with, is a sister named Aviva. Aviva went to India and stayed. She went to India for 2 weeks and ended up staying a damn year at Sai Baba's place. Because he said, I'll charge $1 a week to stay up in this motherfucker.
Right.
Called her husband at the time and said, hey, I'm staying a goddamn year.
Really?
And she said that they used to have these people. They would have this big river. What's the name of that river? The Ganges? The Ganges River. And they're real poor. Is that in Bangladesh? Is that in New Delhi or whatever? I don't know where it is. It's I can't think of
the Ganges go through India.
Yeah, go through India. And they used these people be poor, but they would have these people and they would be feeding people. She went down to the Ganges River and they had these women, 2 women, they was feeding people. But they wouldn't eat the food because they were breatharians. And it is said that they didn't even have a digestive system. Because they were been a breatharian for so long, or they were born into that cult until they didn't have a digestive system.
The whole team talks about that too.
Get the whole team on?
The energy.
Even in the book, the autobiography of a yogi talks about a person now that didn't eat to the point whereas they had to eat the substance from the medulla oblongata and the substantia nigra, which is talking about the deepest concentrated part of this melanin in the back of the head. And they would eat from the melanin. So they said that the manna that Israel was fed in the wilderness that provided nutrition for their diet was nothing but a form of melanin. That is the reason why they say go on the fast. There's more things. They said, people say I went on a fast and then I went into dream time and I went into vision after 40-something days. Because in the gut part of the central nervous, in the intestinal aspect, it is covered over by the intestines or the colon, and food is this stuff down there is a real concentrated part of melanin in the gut called carbonic ash. And that's a real deep concentrated part of melanin. And when they would go on the fast, or they would be able to bring up that substance in the bottom of the gut. And as a result of bringing up that substance in the bottom of the gut and stuff like that, they would go, which is this concentrated form of melanin, or this dormant form of melanin, they were able to go into dream time and able to go into hallucination and able to go into what you call it. Well, we talked about it earlier about you take this drug, and you throw up.
Right.
Which one do you throw up? And then after you throw up, you go into dream time. Well, in actuality, the great mystery is not the drug. When you throw up, there's a point. And I realize this also too, because what happened to me is this. I'll explain all this to you. It'll all come together in a few minutes. I mentioned yesterday, and I mentioned throughout my history, it was 10 years ago I drank 3 gallons of water, 3 to 4 gallons of water, 3 gallons of water a day from Sunday to Wednesday